Hello, my name is Paul Dyer,
I'm Ron Herring.
and we're with the Snaresville Gun Club. We would like to continue talking about explaining Rimfire benchrest and try to generate a little more interest in Rimfire benchrest. So,
And especially Auto Benchrest Association, as far as benchrest goes, where you use a semi-automatic rifle.
one of the easiest sports to get involved in, and least expensive sport as far as competition with a firearm. And this is probably one of the best places to start. So ABRA is the acronym for Automatic Benchrest Association, which on these competitions you use a semi-auto 22 caliber rifle. On the requirements for shooting these matches, as long as you're 7 years old and accompanied by an adult, you can compete in these matches. That's a youth group that shoots the ages of 7 through 16, I believe.
Correct.
If you're over the age of 16, then you shoot in the adult class, and you don't have to have an adult at the bench with you at the time that you're shooting.
And actually, if you're 7 to 12, you must have an adult at the bench, but beyond that age, then you do not need an adult at the bench.
Right. So as far as what is required, or what do you need to actually come to the gun range and compete in this semi-auto matches? So as far as requirements to come and shoot, all you need is any semi-auto 22 caliber rifle chambered in 22. The gun, yes, the gun also needs to be able to function as a semi-automatic. It has to be fed by a magazine, and every time you pull the trigger, it'll fire.
Or, in this case, even a tube-fed rifle is fine as well.
So on the factory rifles that we're talking about here, these are what's called factory. There's two classes, not only youth and adult class. There are two other classes. One is called factory, and the other one is unlimited. So Ron's going to explain what is classified as a factory rifle.
Right. Your factory rifle basically is a rifle just like you'd buy it from Walmart or any local gun store. We've got several different ones listed here, and kind of just to give you a rough idea, this is a Marlin 60, and Marlin also makes some other models that use a magazine. This particular one here is a tube-fed rifle, and the price range I can't tell you exactly now, but they're around $159. Not a great deal of money involved in that case. The next one here is the Ruger 1022. This is a carbine, and I think currently at Walmart they're about $209, something like that. The latter one here is probably one of the upper grades. It's actually got a little bit difference here in the fact that what we have here is a little bit larger barrel, more of a bull barrel, and it comes without any sights on the end of it. They're not incorporated. You have to have a scope for that. This rifle right from the factory is probably one of the better shooting rifles you'll find as far as factory goes. There's some slight modifications you can make to a rifle, or a factory class rifle. You can lighten the trigger as long as you don't change the trigger height, the trigger housing. When I say lighten the trigger, you can reduce the trigger pull. There's several kits out there, different people do it. You can actually rechamber the bolt, or reface the bolt, and you can also float the barrel, where the barrel and the receiver stay as one unit, and they do not touch the forearm or the stock at that time. Okay?
All right, I'm going to move it over a little bit further so we can go to the unlimited class. So for your unlimited rifles, Ron explained, the limitations that you have in the factory class. The reason we have the factory class is that's an entry class to compete in, to where you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can do it very inexpensively and have just a terrific time. So from there you move to the unlimited class.
If you want.
If you want, that's true. Some people just love factory and they stay in factory, and it will amaze folks how well you can get a factory semi-auto 22 to shoot. It's phenomenal. People don't believe it until they actually go out and do it, and they're very incredible. They're very, very accurate. So on your unlimited, the stuff that we talked about there, a lot of that is taken away. Still, it has to be a semi-auto action. It has to be either tube fed or magazine fed, but it has to function semi-auto function. There's no barrel weight limit, no length limit, no size limit. And I don't remember if we talked a while ago on the factory rifles on the limit of the diameter of the barrel, but I believe it's like 0.7.
We can't exceed
Oh, that's right.
3/4 of an inch diameter.
3/4 of an
muzzle.
inch.
At
Right.
the muzzle end.
3/4. So on your unlimited, you don't have that limitation. Pretty much sky's the limit. Anything that you can come up with as far as modifications on your rifle, as long as it functions the way we described earlier. Your stocks, I don't think that's something we mentioned a while ago. On your factory guns, I believe they have to be the factory stock. On unlimited, that is taken away, and you can have an unlimited stock, which that is like on this gun here in particular. The fore end is 3 inches wide at the bottom, and it's very flat. It's modified. It's custom. So it rides in the rest a little bit different than, or quite a bit different than your factory rifles do. So that limit is also taken away. The trigger stuff that we talked about in factory, that is also taken away. It's unlimited on your trigger. You can buy aftermarket trigger housings, trigger kits. This particular one is a 3 ounce pull. It's called a 2-stage trigger. So you have 3 ounce, and then you have a little stop, and then 3 more ounces, and you fire. So that kind of gives you an idea on unlimited. Unlimited is can be more expensive, but they're very accurate, and it's just another great way to spend the day and come compete in a rimfire competition. We tend to stay with our subsonic ammunition. We found that your higher velocity ammunition just is not as accurate as subsonic. So when you're talking about ammunition, you can actually go and buy ammunition off the shelf that is subsonic and try it in your rifle and check your accuracy. You may have to go to different brands of ammunition until you find what your gun likes. And as crazy as that may sound to some folks, different brands of ammunition will shoot different in your rifle. So you just grab you up a few boxes, like these right here. These are very expensive ammunition, $3, $4, something like that, ballpark. They get more expensive, of course, the better quality of your ammunition. You got your Remington subsonic, CCI standard velocity, which is very good ammo. Ely Club, which is a subsonic, it's a good ammo.
It's a real accurate for the money.
Yes.
It's a very accurate, and from different lots to different lots, it has proven to be quite effective for the money.
Very much so, yes. Then you have your SK. This is a rifle match. That's a fairly inexpensive ammo to try. Your Wolf, they have Wolf Match and Wolf Extra. They're both subsonic. They're good quality ammunition. Here we're moving on, and now you're getting into a more pricey ammunition, but you're getting into what we would consider very quality ammunition. Their quality control and stuff is very good on the upper end ammunition, and there is a difference. Cinerex, which is by Lapua, one of the most popular ammunitions there is for bench rest. And in Ely, Ely is well known for their quality ammunition. It's very, very, very accurate, and this is what's called black box. And the black box is not their most expensive ammunition, but it is more expensive than the Cinerex. And you can actually go on up from there, but we're just doing an introductory into getting people involved in bench rest. So we may do an advanced video at some point and go into some more detail on some more stuff, but right now we're not going to do that. So that just gives you an idea of the range of ammunition that you could use for your bench rest competition, especially getting started. There's no reason in going and spending a tremendous amount of money to get involved in bench rest. This is something dad and son can do, mom, dad, son, everybody can. You can even use the same rifle. One can shoot one round, and then the next time, the other person can come shoot. At Snaresville Gun Club, we really would love to have more youth shooters. And sometimes when the youth shooters get involved, next thing you know, Dad gets involved, or Dad gets involved, and then youth gets involved. That's what we're looking for. It's a great group of guys, and it's just a fun competition. And everyone there is always willing to help and answer any kind of questions that could come up while you're out there. So as far as we've covered our rifles and we've covered our ammunition, so the next thing we're going to move on to is what type of rest can you use when you're competing in ABRA, and all this is what we're talking about is ABRA, Automatic Bench Rest Association. There are other Rimfire bench rest competitions, and we also have them at Snaresville Gun Club, but they have different rules. So we're only talking today about the semi-auto. Here's one example. This is called a one-piece rest. This type of rest is not allowed in ABRA. This is something we cannot use in our competition for ABRA because it's one solid piece. You can use it in other types of rimfire matches. Couldn't spit that out. But this is. I just want to bring an example to show you what we cannot use. But what we can use is what's called a two-piece rest, and that is the only type of rest you can use, and it has to be two pieces that are separate. They can't be connected. They're two separate pieces. We're going to go back down to the end of the table, and Ron has quite a few examples down here on two-piece rest, and we're going to let Ron explain some of the stuff on his.
Okay, I want to show you an inexpensive way to build a rest, really a quality rest. And just briefly, let me show you. A person can adjust their elevation very easily with this, just by sliding the rest, okay, to get your rifle and target down range there. But this is something you can build just with a little bit of woodworking skill. I'm going to briefly show you this. This is inexpensive. This is a good way to get started. You can always upgrade. So let's take this out. All we've done is taken a couple pieces of plywood, and you might add more depending on the bench you're shooting at. I've actually made this up where I could screw other plates to it very quickly if the benches that we're sitting on are not right. And this is no more a couple pieces of 3/4 inch plywood, a 2x4 block cut down, another 2x4 block cut down, or 2x2 cut down, and then actually using sandpaper, you can use this without damaging your rifle. You can form fit that to the rifle, the butt of the rifle, to get that effect, okay? The front of it then is a couple of pieces of 2x4s with another piece of plywood on it, and like a 2x3 roughly. I cut a 2x4 down over here, and some pieces of kind of like pressed wood here. Then at Walmart, you can get some smaller pieces of this and some felt to actually let this rifle ride on. And it was very smooth operating. It's inexpensive. This will work on about any marlin. I've tried it on some other marlins with synthetic stocks. It works great. Done the same thing right here with a Ruger 10/22 carbine. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's just different. It fits it differently. The width's different. And you can see the felt tips here. You got everything. Okay, this one here I had some scrap pieces of suede type material that I glued to the back here to make that smooth, so you don't damage your rifle blade. This particular rest here is a Caldwell Rock VR. Okay, it's got height adjustment that you can jack your wheel up and down. It's got side adjustment for windage where you can move it back and forth. It's got feet you can put underneath there to do it. I've actually reversed the stock so that, or a stop on the front, so my rifle goes up to this stock each time before I fire it. The recoil will kick it back a little bit. I just push it back forward again. This is a rear rest that is highly adjustable, height-wise. Okay, may not look it, but it will go up and down. It'll really cover the target length, and then it's got a side movement for windage on here also. So you've got a lot of movement that you can place on this. These are more expensive. These are on the upper end of the line here. You can actually buy this particular item through the Auto Bench Rest Association. Caldwell Rock BR. I've modified the things that hold it very similar to what I did down here with the other ones. And I just clamp these in place, and I can swap it out for a different type of rifle if I want to. I made one up for an unlimited class rifle, so it's wider. Just comes in or out. Swap it real quick. You can set one up for an unlimited rifle, swap it out, and you're ready to go again. Okay.
Okay, next thing we're going to cover is what distance do you shoot your targets at? What distance is this bench rest done at? The bench rest is done at 50 yards. So we're going to show you a target here in a minute and show you exactly what we're striving to shoot at. But because you're at 50 yards and we're shooting at something so small, your scope really comes into play. Since we're already over here in the unlimited section, we're going to talk about this particular scope here, and we'll work back down to some other scopes. The higher your power scope, the better you're going to be able to see the very small target that we're going to be shooting at for your competition. This particular scope is a 50 power. And then you also have to think about your reticle size, you know, the little lines. If you use the one that has little lines, this particular one has a dot. Because of what we're going to shoot at, that needs to be very small. Otherwise it's going to cover up the target. But the main thing to remember is your magnification. You need a very high power scope, not need, but it helps. The higher your power, the better you'll be able to see, the better you can see, the better you shoot. That don't mean you have to start with a 50 power scope. That is definitely not a requirement. You can start with a 3x9 or anything in between that. We have several other scopes over here. One of them is a T36. It's a 36 power fixed that has I believe Ron's has a dot on it. But that's another very good scope to use for bench rest competitions. These are extremely popular. They're not overly expensive. Very good scopes, and they'll get you really up close and personal with your target. You can go down a 24 power, an 18 power. Really, whatever you can afford and whatever you feel comfortable with to shoot, that's what you can do. Starting out, just pick a scope, come out, put it on your gun. We can even help you get it sighted in as far as that goes. And help you with anything and answer any kind of questions to get you up and running and get involved in this terrific sport that we shoot in. I think Ron's going to talk now about the targets. Since we've talked about this small thing we're going to shoot at, let's give you a look of what we shoot at 50 yards.
Yeah. Okay. What we have on our target here is actually a set of 20 bullseyes for score, and we've got 2 sighters off the side here. These sighters, we always ask someone to shoot a sighter to start with, so make sure that they're on the target. We'll have the person's name on the target, of course. But you want to make sure you're shooting at your target and not someone else's. Now, for reference, you look at this ballpoint pen tip here, and you can see our 10 ring in the middle is very small. Now, this is at 50 yards, so that's another reason why you have to have the higher power scope you've got, the better off you are. I've used an 18 power before when I first started this thing, and I could actually see the entire target. When you go to a 36 power, you can lock right down on one bull easily. Or if you're even larger, up to 50 power like Paul's got, you probably even narrow it down even further than there. The scoring for this target is if you hit a line, then you score up. The center one, the dot, as long as you touch anywhere on that center, then that's scored as 10. That's the maximum you can get on any target, okay, on any bullseye, excuse me. If you don't break that, but you hit down in the lower area, the white area, or into the red here, then you're at 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, so forth down through here. We do have a scoring plug we have if a score is questionable as far as which one is it, did it actually break a line or not. We put a plug in there, which is a 223 diameter plug, which if you break that, then you know the bullet went through the target at a particular place. So that's one thing we use there. I don't know if you can see this or not, Paul. Are you over in this area?
Yep.
Okay. like I say, once again, we've got 20 bulls that we shoot on this target. You can shoot them in any sequence you prefer, but you only want to shoot one time on each bull, one time, and that's where we get our score. So your maximum, we got 10 points maximum times 20 bulls. Your maximum score will be 200. And this association started in 2014, and I don't believe that we've had, I think we've only had 3 200 shot for the entire time. And those were all in unlimited rifles. We have had some 192s and 193s in the factory rifle, which is getting very, very darn good. Okay?
And the time to shoot a
The
target?
time, that's right. We have 15 minutes time from the time we start till you complete these targets. Now, believe me, 15 minutes time is plenty of time. You don't have to rush. You can take your time. You can make sure that the conditions are correct for you. And when I say conditions, a lot of us use wind flags so we can determine where that bullet's going to go, or we hope it's going to go when we pull that trigger. Okay, Paul and I are going to kind of finish things up here. So we just talked about the target, how many shoot, so forth. Paul, go ahead.
So I guess really the last kind of question that we need to answer is, what does it cost? What does it cost if we have this equipment? What does it cost to come out and shoot? Well, on your juniors, and again, we're talking, was it 12 years old?
7 to 16.
Oh, 7 to 16, that's right. Under 16 years of age, there's no charge. You don't pay per target. You just show up and shoot with us. If you're over the age of 16, then at Snaresville Gun Club, it's $2 per target, and for our matches at Snaresville Gun Club, we shoot 4 targets. So $8 is what you spend to go shoot, not counting your ammo, of course. But
that's our regular matches, and we do have a tournament once a year, and we shoot 6 cars like we did this past weekend. So that was, and we also provided food, so that will vary at that time.
Throughout there, ABRA is actually based out of Bernie, and their matches are they run the same as ours, but prices can vary from one place that you shoot to another, and it's also in, I don't know how many other states now that ABRA is in, but it's probably at least 5.
We got Louisiana, Georgia, Ohio, probably somewhere else.
I know where
Kentucky.
Yeah, there you go. So what we're talking about today is from Snaresville Gun Club. So we really can't speak for anybody else's prices, but this is what we shoot. This is what they shoot. Same target, same rules. Again, we're going to put a link on this video. You can click on the ABRA link and read about it. And on there is all the rules. If there's some stuff that we possibly didn't cover, but you can go on there and or you can send Joe Chacon and his wife Lisa. You can send them an email, and they are more than willing to answer any questions anyone would have about the sport. The main thing is this is something that the whole family can get involved in, relatively inexpensive. You'll meet some of the best guys at these matches that you would meet anywhere. Not only at Snaresville Gun Club, but at other places. Bernie, that's just over the top. They're great folks to deal with. And hopefully we covered enough to maybe get some more people involved and interested in this type of sport. We have at our range when we shoot ABRA, we shoot the fourth Saturday of every month. Is that right?
Right. Currently, we run the 4th Saturday.
Yes. We're gonna also put a link on this video so you can contact Ron if you're a member of Snaresville Gun Club, or if you see this video and you live in our area and would like to come shoot with us. You don't have to be a member of Snaresville Gun Club to come compete. We have several people that come from other towns that shoot with us at every match, and they don't live in Snaresville and they're not a member of our club. They are all welcome to come and shoot with us, and we would welcome all of you. If you're interested, you can give Ron a call, send him an email. His email address and mine also is on the Snaresville Gun Club website. My phone number is also listed on there. But we're going to put Ron's on the video. and just give him a call if you have any questions, something that we didn't cover.
Let me add something else here, Paul. At San Angelo Gun Club, one of our purposes of our organization is to promote youth and shooting activities and competition. And to that effect, we provide ammo to the youth at no cost. So if you've got a child, or you are a child between 7 and 16, we encourage you to come out. Now, if we know in advance you're going to do it, if you don't have a rifle or a wrestling, we can probably provide you with one to start with. But it's something we'd like to encourage people to do, to try it. Another thing, a lot of people say, well, there ain't nothing to sit there and shoot from the bench. Well, by golly, you can develop some great shooting skills from this point. I compare it to the type of skill a sniper might use in the performance of his duties later on. Because we're playing with the wind, and the effect of the wind on that bullet, and the 22 rifle bullet can really be affected by the wind. And at San Angelo, we have a great amount of wind almost all the time.
That is a fact. There's really no way to explain how much effect wind does have on our bullets, but when you're shooting at something as tiny as this, and you know your gun is sighted in for the conditions, and you have all of a sudden you have a gust of wind and your bullet moves a half an inch, that tells you right there what's going on and how difficult it can be. And you do hone some skills, and it's all learning. Every match you'll learn something else, whether it's from your own shooting or from another shooter. So hopefully we covered enough to at least introduce people to the sport of bench rest, especially ABRA, and maybe we'll generate some interest. And if so, we really look forward to seeing y'all at San Angelo Gun Club or any of the matches that are ABRA matches. And if you did see it on video, let somebody know and pass it on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.